Why can't the Cubs put the pedal to the metal? Or maybe the better question is, why don't they want to?
I think because they know they'll get close to 3 million fans no matter what.
It's got to suck to lose 2 games and then have to wait for a really long time. Let's talk about it right now. Patrick Mooney covers the Chicago Cubs for The Athletic and, of course, for Northside Territory. It's an awesome show. Check it out, him and Sahadev Sharma. Patrick, good to see you. And can you talk Cubs fans off the 0-2 ledge right now? What did you see that you liked and disliked from Tokyo?
Maybe check back in May. I mean, because if you look at this opening schedule, it is absolutely brutal. I think it's, by one count, the toughest month in all of baseball, followed by the easiest month in all of baseball all year. So a lot of Dodgers, a lot of Diamondbacks, a lot of Padres, Phillies. They get to open up that AAA ballpark in Sacramento. So I think the angst will be felt on the north side for a couple weeks here.
Are the flags flying the whole time? This seems like it's more like a Brewers question, because they do the flags at Wrigley Field based on the rankings, the standings. So are the Cubs flying their flags right now, even though other teams haven't played, because they're way at the bottom, and that's kind of hurtful to Wrigleyville?
Yeah, that's a good question. I should have walked over to Wrigley and checked that. Yeah, the worst team in baseball. I don't think the flags are up just yet. It has been cold, windy here, but yeah, they've had to wear this for a while, and it'll be really interesting to see, because Craig Counsell, before they left for Tokyo, said the hardest part is going to be when we get back to Arizona, particularly on the pitching side of like ramping up, shutting it back down. And you guys as catchers know like how hard and delicate this is for pitchers at this time of year in March. So I think it's going to be really interesting to watch to see like what kind of news comes out here once they get back into it against the Diamondbacks in Arizona.
By the way, congratulations, Patrick. You guys have a worse record than the White Sox. So, Cub fans, enjoy that. And I am going to wear that out for as long as it is possible. So, listen, nothing broke my heart more than watching the Cubs go 0-2 in Tokyo, and they have the worst record in baseball, okay? So, let's make that. And then, by the way, you can't, Kratzy, I'll answer your question. They can't fly the flags because the Wrigley fans get so upset. It hurts all their feelings and the players' feeling. Like Theo said, about the Emus Catulli sign, they have to take it down because we can't have the fans and the players seeing all this negative stuff out there. So let's take everything that isn't whoop-de-doo, Cubs are the best down in the whole world. Suck it, Cub fans. But I got to ask this. You have to be encouraged about one thing. Imanaga pitched great. Steele made a couple mistakes. But I thought those two guys at the top of the rotation is going to be great for them. I think, especially if Steele stays healthy, what Imanaga showed, you back it with Tyon. I think the Cubs' top of the rotation is going to be really good this year.
Yeah, I think you're right on that count, AJ. Like the Cubs, no team is going to look great on paper when you stack up against the Dodgers. Now, they didn't have two Hall of Famers in the lineup, and they probably caught Sasaki at a good time, like his debut in his home country, but the Cubs are good at like the boring stuff. Like they have a lot of pitching depth. They have flexibility. They have a manager, who's proven and loves, optional relievers. Like their game planning system is pretty good. They have top prospects waiting in Iowa. So like this is a team that I think will show up better over the course of 162 than one that will like wow you in any given series.
The lineup really doesn't wow you, but the one part of the lineup that was kind of confusing to me, should fans really be mad that a $144 million man was hitting behind Matt Shaw, making his rookie debut in another country in the big leagues?
Well, Counsell, any of those sorts of questions, he just immediately shrugs off or dismisses that. He says the lineup construction does not really matter, but there's going to be a lot of pressure on Matt Shaw this year. I don't know if you saw Chandler Rome's story in The Athletic. Chandler, our colleague here at the Foul Territory Network, on Cam Smith, a third baseman who may play right field for the Astros, a guy who was traded in the Kyle Tucker deal. Like, this is a guy who has to produce for them. And, he does not have, I think it's 35 games of experience at the AAA level. He doesn't have a ton of experience just simply playing third base. So wherever he hits in that lineup, he's the name you have to circle of a guy who, like, fair or not, has to perform this year because they didn't get Alex Bregman.
Hey, Patrick, by the way, Dansby's only making 177. Kratz undersold him. So it's 7 years, 177, not 144. So he undersold him. But my question is on Matt Shaw. I watched him. I called the games for Fox, the 2 games in Tokyo. I know that he hits the way he hits. It's very unorthodox. And some of the swings, he got a hit. Granted, it shouldn't have been a hit. I mean, the pitcher clanked it. But there are no errors in Major League Baseball anymore. They want everyone to get hits, which is fine. Great first hit for him. Congratulations. They never take it away from you. He'll tell his kids it was a line drive up the middle, right? But
for sure,
is this the way he hits? Because, I mean, I can't do it because the screen's too small, but with his foot way turned in, the way he's so turned, right? And he's kind of has kind of a funky swing. It's kind of Hunter Pence's, just different than what you normally see. I know he's had success in the minor leagues, but from what I saw, the Cubs expect him to stay like this and still hit the way he does.
Yeah, and I mean, I think over the years, the Cubs have cycled through like so many hitting coaches and like hitting philosophies that I think they're in a pretty good place with this right now. And look, he's a guy who was the Cape Cod League MVP, turned himself into a first-round pick at the University of Maryland, has hit every level of the minors. And Counsell made the point, like, if you look at kind of identifying hitting talent right now, the Cubs might regularly have 7 first-round picks on the field, basically their entire infield and their entire outfield. I think they feel pretty good about their ability to identify first-round college-type hitters. And, I think, and Kratz knows this, like, Counsell's big thing with young players is you have to catch the ball and make the plays on defense, that he is extremely willing to be patient with young talent so long as they get it done on defense. That was Bryce Terang was a great example in Milwaukee. Pete Crow Armstrong was a great example in Chicago. And so that's why I think, some of those throws or some of those plays at third base will be highlighted if he doesn't make them, because they do think he'll hit in the long run. They're optimistic that eventually his athleticism will get him there on defense, but he simply just does not have the reps or the background to eliminate those questions on opening day.
Patrick, why do you think the Cubs are so heavily favored to win the division? I mean, if you want to kind of touch on the rest of the division too and how you compare them. I mean, I think they're going to be good, but I think the Reds are going to be good. I think the Brewers are going to be good or good enough to make this damn close, and definitely not a runaway for Chicago by any means. I would be shocked if they do what the Brewers did last year and win by double digits in the division, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that is part of the frustration around the Cubs of like, why didn't they just put their foot on the gas and really try and win this thing and, build a true World Series contender, not just a team that is set up to sort of like hang on and, maybe win 85 to 88 games or sort of wait until the trade deadline and then make a big move or a big splash. I think really they built a team sort of against their level of competition, the way that the Dodgers have forced the Diamondbacks to get better and think outside the box. The Cubs have sort of been on this NL Central track for a while now. And their pitching depth is good. The top of the rotation, as AJ mentioned, should be pretty good. Kyle Tucker has a lot to play for and has been in kind of an underrated superstar for a while now. So they're certainly the elements of a division winner, but yeah, you can't write off the Reds' talent and Terry Francona, his ability to bring a group together. Feels like we always overlook the Brewers, and they're usually there almost every September. And the Pirates have a ton of pitching talent that, they haven't really supplemented it the way, Pirates fans would have hoped, but there's something to work with there, particularly when the Cubs did not build a team that's going to win 100 games. It was more like, okay, this is a reasonable chance of being good and then can supplement at the trade deadline. It's going to be interesting. I don't think anyone's going to run away with it in the Central.
More in a minute, but first, a quick word from our sponsor of this video. If you're looking for premium clothes at an affordable price, you got to check out True Classic. AJ, you're rocking the True Classic shirt right now.
Oh, believe it. Look at this thing. Look at it. Soft. It fits perfect, even with these guns. Not too tight like Scott likes it. Little bit of room to move in there, right? Look, you can wear it under a suit. You can wear it out to dinner with some nice jeans. You can wear it to the gym if that's what your game is. Whatever it takes, this thing fits great, feels great. Great shirt.
The long sleeve Henny for these cold, kind of warm spring days. Perfect.
Yep. Build the perfect outfit in 5 minutes or less. Everything goes great together. Free shipping on all orders. It's designed to bring out your best features with a perfect fit. So, FT fam, whether you're bundling up for the cold or getting ready for spring, level up your style with clothes that actually fit right. Go to our exclusive link, trueclassic.com/foul to save. That's trueclassic.com/FOUL. Shop now and elevate your wardrobe today. FT fam, get after it. And now back to the video.
Is the bullpen deep enough to be able to take them to where they want to go? I mean, Ryan Presley at the end, obviously, he's been an elite closer for his entire career. But Council's other bullpens in his career with the Brewers, he had Devin Williams, he had Josh Hader during that time.
Yeah.
So they added that Presley to the bullpen, which is his, that's his guy. But is it deep enough? Julian Merriweather's coming off injuries. Is there, we didn't even really see much of it because Ben Brown ate a lot of the innings and he's going to be their fifth starter.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I think looking at this group last year, there was a hope that there'd be some sort of Council magic and that he would push the right buttons, and they wound up with 83 wins, the same amount they had under David Ross. I mean, you look at that list, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of potential. There are question marks. I mean, Julian Merriweather is a classic. If he's healthy, he's been lights out, but he hasn't been healthy enough throughout his career. There's only one lefty on that list. You do see some flexibility of guys who could go multiple innings. They're really encouraged by Brad Keller, a guy who's kind of come out of nowhere here to really open eyes in the Cactus League. And this is again a competence thing. It's not glamorous, but the Cubs over the years have been pretty good at finding under the radar guys, coaching them up, putting them in the right situations. So, if Presley is the guy he was a couple of years ago, I think that just brings an enormous sense of confidence and stability that they did not have at the beginning of the last 2 years.
Why? I want to go back to what you said. Why? Why didn't the Cubs put the pedal to the metal? Why? I know we've beat it to death, but I want to hear from you. Why? Because I mean, everyone, the Dodgers. Wrigley Field and Wrigleyville and all the stuff that the Ricketts family and the Cubs own around there. You can't tell me that they're not making money. Come on, Patrick. I mean, I've been there. I've walked around there when there's games. You can't tell me they have concerts and they have this going on. They have the little wiffle ball field where people play, and then they go across the street. They have the hotel with the McDonald's and all the restaurants and every bar you look, and they own all the rooftops now, and they have all this advertising now. Why can't the Cubs put the pedal to the metal? Or maybe the better question is, why don't they want to?
I think because they know they'll get close to 3 million fans no matter what. I think that is part of it. I think there were scenarios in which that payroll number would be a lot closer to where it historically has been. I think Bregman is an example of where they made an offer that was not super competitive, but would have, taken their payroll into another range. But yeah, the revenues, the history, the market size, the generational passion for this baseball team, simply does not match up to where the payroll is at this moment. And now they will say that things could change around the trade deadline. I mean, coming out of Cubs convention, we'll see how the free agent market shakes out. Bregman was that kind of outlier guy that they pursued but could not reel in. But I mean, ultimately, that is, a major frustration in Wrigleyville, because your eyes tell you one thing. Like you said, AJ, the hotels, the crowds, the really what has been an awesome renovation, I would say. I think, just about Cubs fans don't agree on much, but I think everyone agrees that they did a good job with this kind of billion-dollar renovation at Wrigley Field to maintain the atmosphere and a lot of the charms while modernizing it. But I mean, you look back, this was a team that in 2019 had the highest payroll in the National League, and it's really since then has either stayed flat or dipped, in part because of COVID, in part because of uncertainty around their TV situation. And I think a small part of it that no one with the Cubs would really say is just like 1908 isn't hanging over them anymore. Like, their World Series, and I think their goal, more than winning one World Series this year, like this is the year type pressure, it is being competitive on an annual basis, playing meaningful baseball in September every year, and regularly getting into the playoffs. It's kind of a different mindset.
By the
Much
way,
more on this topic.
They shouldn't have put the scoreboards up. That's the only problem I have with the renovations. The giant scoreboards, that was like the coolest thing. You'd be catching. I'd be back there catching, and they got the Blue Angels flying over, and you could see the drunk people up in the houses out there. Now all you see is two giant scoreboards. Like, no, I don't want those. I want to see the drunk people out on the rooftop having fun. Make me jealous.
You see drunk people on the scoreboard now, like in high definition and huge
right.
screens.
True.
Yeah, but I don't want to see them that up close, right? I want to see them far away so I can dream what they're doing. I don't need to see some sloppy Cubs fan sucking down his 12th beer, right?
They stack the cups, AJ.
The
famous
Cub
stacking
snakes
of the
are
cups.
awesome. The Cub snakes are awesome. I will admit
They
need more Cub snakes. They need to see if they could do one over the bleachers up to the rooftops. Like, you want Cub fans, you want me to be a fan? Make a cup snake that starts in the bleachers and goes all the way up over the fence, across the street and have somebody above in the rooftops holding it up. That would be awesome.
Oh, good luck. I mean, if they start 0-10, you might get a few of those. Patrick, good to see you. Catch Patrick and Tadej Sharma on Northside Territory. Catch Patrick's stories in The Athletic, including a little look at the starting lineup, rotation, the whole deal. That's up there right now in The Athletic. Here's the Northside Territory plug for you as well. Good to see you, Patrick, and good luck, I would say, going through this stretch. Obviously, it doesn't matter if they win or lose for you, but just weathering the storm of if it is a tough schedule and things get ugly early. So good to see you. We'll talk soon, okay?
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.